So, for example, if you have job, you are given job, you see, to look after people, children, or to look after deformed people, or deformed people, or the old people, can't function much. So yeah. So one thing is easier is you want to do. One thing, when people are deformed or children, the old people, old folks homes, so more difficult. The job. There's more engaged. So much work, so much to clean, so much to take care, so much to do. More incapable that person is, or old man or children, whatever. So then you see, because you don't have a good heart, you don't have bodhichitta realization, neither that nor even effort bodhichitta, not even good heart. So then you become your mind becomes very weak, so you don't know what to do. So you always look for kind of easy job. Well, then they're difficult to find. Also, one thing is not easy to find. They go depend on your karma, what kind of karma you have. Then from past life, you don't get everything what you like. Always easy job. That you don't need so much. You don't need to move around so much, or so occupied to that. You stop the hard work and some the easy one. But if you don't have karma, then takes a long time to find a job, easy job. So sometimes you don't find the easy job. You don't have that karma. So you don't find the easy job. So then life becomes so difficult like that. Life becomes so difficult. So it's kind of some ways it's kind of you make yourself. Because you don't have bodhichitta, no other realization, no effort bodhichitta, no effortless bodhichitta, no effort bodhichitta, not even general good heart. So you make your life so difficult because no good heart, because there's no good heart. So you make your life so difficult, all like that. Whereas you have bodhichitta, not effortless bodhichitta, but even just a good heart, and then you're more dedicated to others. You are more dedicated, sincerely dedicated to others. The other being's happiness is like your happiness. Other being's suffering is like your suffering. So, you find yourself more useful. There's more work. There's more work to do for others. So you find yourself that much more beneficial to others. So you're more happy. With a good heart, you want to help others, you want to benefit others. So you see, as you see yourself, there's so much work to do. So that means you become so beneficial for others. You become so beneficial for others. So with your good heart, you are more happy. So even though if you have less good heart, then very tiring, very boring, very boring, very tiring, and all that thing happens. All that thing. So then you can say you buy all those things, boring, tiring, all the thing. no interest, because no interest. So more good heart you have, more good heart you have working for others. So more good heart you have. So see, happiness for others is like your happiness. Suffering others, you suffer. So you want to help others sincerely. You want to make less suffering. I mean, as much as possible. Then more happiness to others. So like the mother, like the mother to a beloved child, was sick or was so difficult to take care, and then she she did do whatever need to be done. I mean, to take care. It's all of that, you see. Did get. So as I suggest, those who have children, those who other Catholic, you're taking your job is taking care of the children with the other people, not belong to other people's children, or your own children, you're born from you. However, so as I used to say, so the good heart, Catholic. So as I said before, see, I received all my past happiness from beginningless samsara birth. Beginningless samsara birth, all the happiness from the past I received from this child. If you're walking the child, if it's child, I received from child, and this present, all the future happiness up to enlightenment. I received from this child. So, from this sentient being. So this, I mean, that's one way, the most extensive way of thinking kindness. That's all this is Catholic. I mean, the Catholic. Being the other one is being mother from beginning to rebirth, being kind, always kindness. You see that? That one, there's another one unbearable. The thing, the kindness, how you dedicated life to take care of you. I mean, it's not the incredible, unbearable kindness. So, then the other one, of course. Then other one, sorry. Your protection, your comfort of being in the house, and then survival, comfort, protection by eating food, drinks, and then protection, comfort, survival. This. Also then by clothing. So all these things have to, so many other sentient beings suffered, died for that, killed for that. So it becomes, from that then, by enjoying this, then you become survival. I mean, the comfort, like that, you see. So, the happiness. So that's one side. The yeah. So excellent kindness. Then this is most precious, most for me the most precious, most kind, most dear, my wish fulfilling. So you see. So yeah. So So of course, you see. So my dedication. So there was my dedication. So that much, you see, my dedication, my service to the most precious, most kind, most sentient being. That much dedication, that much service. How so fortunate I am. How incredibly fortunate I am. Oh, so I can dedicate, I can serve that much. So you rejoice yourself that you become that much more useful for even this one sentient being, the child or old man, old woman, whatever it is a deformed person. That I'm Katsure. That I'm Katsure. So fortunate that I'm Katsure. Become that much useful. You see, able to serve, even that much say, able to serve. There I see myself being useful, even to take care of one sentient being. So you rejoice. You see yourself useful, that much useful to even to one sentient being. How fortunate I am. How fortunate. So, yeah. So you see, to anybody, rich person, a beggar, rich person, so much problems, helping or the beggar, somebody serving, whatever. So easy, even you are able to serve. I don't know, but even you are able to serve. For example, a person who can't walk, and the place where the person wishes to be, you help the person, because you carry that person, to the place where he wishes to be. Somebody says, carry that person. You see, for example, or whatever. So, even to help, even not the whole life, not all the time, but even just one time, able to help that person, even just one time, help that person. Whatever it is, even it's a very small thing. You see? You find yourself useful to that person. Able to help even little thing. It's so important. So important for that person. Sorry. Most precious, most kind, most dear, which we are wishing, from whom we receive happiness from beginningless samsara, now, future, after enlightenment. Everything you receive from the person. So, even you find, I don't know, somebody who has no food, able to buy food, give drink to that person, whatever it is. Able to serve something, able to, whatever it is, able to do something, able to do something. So you see, you found yourself to be useful for that sentient being, even just one thing in the life, just one thing. So you rejoice. How fortunate I am. That. How incredible fortunate I am. Because by seeing the value of that person to you see, so then you serve even little, so even big or small, whatever you can do. So you see being useful there. So rejoice. It's that way. More you see the value of that person, kindness of the person, how precious, then you feel greater happiness. You see greater happiness when you see able to serve. Just able to help even for small comfort. Is important. So it gives so much pleasure. It gives so much happiness, rather than upset, worried. Oh, he's using me. Oh, I'm used as a this seal, this printing. Oh, I'm used as this kata. What's it called? Stamina. I'm used to stamina. Oh, I'm used to the servant. Oh, then you get upset, you get angry. Oh, I'm used to servant. Oh, totally. I'm used to stamina. But you can use other stamina. Others can't use your stamina, but you can use other stamina. You see, they're very ridiculous. It's like you can cheat others, you can kill others, you can do anything, but they can't do you. It's like there's a dictator, there's a self-chasing thought, a dictator, see? Dictator. The self-chasing thought, the dictator. So no reason, no logical reason. You can do anything to others, but others can't get into you, others can't complain. Nobody can complain to you. This is what you want, self-chasing the want. But you can complain to anybody. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the mind. You see? It's completely ridiculous. It's self-chasing thought. So you see, then you see every life, day and night, every day. Well, whatever comes with him. Whatever you can help, you can do for others, even small things. And so say, find yourself useful to others. And it feels so precious, so good, that so important, so precious. So you see, passing the kindness, more use the kindness of the pressure to other beings, even small service, small comfort, able cause, small comfort, it brings great pleasure in your mind. So important. Brings great pleasure in the mind. Yeah, you see yourself beneficial, even small thing. So, as I said, I used to tell advice. So you see, if you are taking children, baby, either it's yours, others, either yours or others. Taking a baby, so you see, you see, you found beneficial to somebody. You found beneficial to some sentient being. So the baby, even it's one baby. So to help you find beneficial, become useful to. Here I'm not using this because this is your child, my child. No, I'm not talking about self-cherism. I'm not talking about serving your self-cherism or your attachment. I'm not talking about that. Because it's my child. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not using that reason. Come on. Just precious sentient being, as I gave you already the reason. That's the thing in that. And the yours for others. So I found, you see. So you found yourself useful to some sentient beings. So you feel lucky. So you feel so fortunate. You should be so fortunate. You should be so. Then, because that is so fortunate, that keeps bringing so much happiness in your mind. No depression, no depression. Yeah, so much happiness. Your life is filled with so much happiness, joy. Or think old man, or deformed person. You see, how much work they do, me more happy. You know, they can serve. Yeah, you can serve. Not selfish thought. You serve this most kind sentient beings. Most precious. What Buddha Sangha came from her, came from the child, came from this old man, from this deformed person. The Buddha Sangha came from that. You saw, yeah. Like that. So they start one mantra, Lama they came from there. So you serve that. You see? So that I say, that's so important. You see, nowadays serving sentient beings, harder to work for sentient, harder, whatever work you're doing, harder it is, more problem it is, harder it is, you enjoy more, because you're able to do the hard work for sentient beings, not the easy one, hard work for sentient, hard job for sentient beings. So you're able to do that, you're able to bear that. So the hard work others don't want to do. The many others, you see, except good heart people, But the others don't do only easy. It's very easy. So you take the hard work, you do the hard job. Then you find yourself beneficial to others. Wow, so good, fantastic. I mean, the other sentient being experience hardship for you. From beginning, there's some sort of birth experience so much hardship for you. Now, and also again in the future, after you, until you achieve enlightenment. So like that. So you take the hardship for you, working for others, serving others.